But there's a revolution in model railroading. It's the ability to use computer technology to control trains. It's now possible to independently operate multiple trains on the same track, and it's something model railroaders have longed to do since day one. Let's see how.
Model trains have been around for a long time. If you didn't have one as a child, you undoubtedly knew someone who did, probably a Lionel or American Flyer. But what you may not be familiar with is the quiet revolution that's taken place in model railroading over the last decade. This shifting paradigm is best designated by 3 simple letters: DCC. Norm Stenzel is with the Digitrax Corporation, one of the largest manufacturers of DCC technology.
The original command control was a pull string. Pulling a toy train around, you had one operator who was independently operating a train, could do anything he wanted regardless of what another train around him was doing. Then from an electric train standpoint, we had a system called ASTRAC that came out in, I believe it was in the mid-50s, that was limited to 2 trains running independently. It was cutting-edge technology for the time. Then in the early 90s, we came out with what we call digital command control, or DCC, which is what we're using today. And what that is a digital signal sent through the track that is also the power that is operating the locomotive. So we essentially just have power and signal all combined as one entity. So if you have enough power to run the train, you also have control of the train.
DCC really enhances the model railroading experience. This technology enables the model world to more closely resemble the world of full-size trains.
It basically puts you in the cab of the locomotive. You're able to do anything with the locomotive, irregardless of where it is on the railroad, when you want to do it. You don't have to spend time throwing toggle switches and rotary switches and controls like that to redirect power to a specific locomotive. So essentially you can concentrate on running the train and not the layout. You can control many other things. You can control turnouts. One of the newest things that's becoming very popular now is sound. It's added a whole new dimension to model railroading, and you control that from your throttle, and in most cases it's a handheld. It's like carrying your control panel in your hand.
Mike Paulsgrove is a model railroader with an extensive knowledge of this new technology. Mike writes a monthly column about digital command control for Model Railroader magazine.
DCC creates a different world for the model railroader by allowing him to run his trains in many places at the same time. It allows 2 trains to be in very close proximity to one another. There's a number of different things that can be programmed into an individual locomotive to help control the speed. There are a thing called back EMF that allows you to go up and down grades at a constant speed. You can also match the speeds of different locomotives. Say you have a locomotive built by one manufacturer and a locomotive built by another manufacturer that don't necessarily run well together under DC. With DCC, you can fine-tune the operation so that the 2 locomotives will run together at match speeds.
You may be wondering what it takes to implement DCC technology in an existing conventional model train layout.
The basics of a DCC system is a command station, which this box right here is, and then at least 1 booster. This is a large layout, so it's got several boosters to it. The boosters provide power to the locomotives, and the command station is the brains of the outfit. And then you have to have a throttle to control the locomotives with. The throttles themselves are not interchangeable. When you buy a particular manufacturer of DCC system, you need to stick with that particular manufacturer's throttles. There are a number of different throttles offered by each manufacturer, so you do have some choice. And the last thing that you need for your DCC system is a decoder in your locomotive. The cost to get into DCC can vary with the complexity that you want to use. The beginning sets can go for $200 or $300. The more advanced sets are in the $500 plus area. The thing model railroaders should watch out when they purchase a DCC system is to make sure that they get the system that's right for them. not only now, but in the future. You can get systems that aren't expandable, which would be fine if you don't plan on doing anything more in the future. But if you are planning to operate your accessories or run quite a number of locomotives, maybe not now, but in the future, you might consider getting a system that has expandable capabilities.
Conversion of existing layouts to DCC control is not as complex as one might imagine.
In a lot of cases, you can use the existing transformer that you have for your DC powered layout. You can connect that into the power booster and the command station. To install a locomotive decoder, you start with an engine like this with no electronics inside of it. Then you put a decoder inside here and wire it up to the motor and to the headlight. To hold the locomotive decoder in, use double-sided sticky tape like this. Or you could simply buy locomotives that have decoders already installed.
If you currently know someone who has a model railroad layout, chances are they're using DCC technology. Ask them to demonstrate it for you. Because, after all, the absolute best thing about DCC is how much it amplifies the fun of model railroading.